peek at it.
So DMO says, thoughts on premarital sex. I'm in favor of premarital sex.
I feel like you have to.
Coomer.
Don't.
Coomer.
You're the Coomer.
You fucking degen.
I don't believe in marriage, Andrew. You want me to die a virgin? If I don't believe in marriage, how am I gonna
accomplish the?
Okay. Well, hang on. Fair enough. So let's get into it real quick. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
So you're not a Coomer? Would you have?
Did I say that?
Would you have sex with a different, random, beautiful woman every single night for 365 days with zero commitment?
Would I do it?
Yeah.
Can I Would I do it?
Mm-hmm.
STDs?
Zero
STDs?
Yeah. They're just all beautiful, clean women. And there's a new one every single night for 365 days. Would you bone them all?
Can I get them pregnant?
Nope.
I can't get them pregnant?
Can't get them pregnant. They've all had hysterectomies, bro.
And big labias.
That's a good question. Would I do it? Don't get me wrong. As men, I gotta be realistic here. So I do prefer long-term relationships, but would I do it? Like it's handed to me on a silver platter, Andrew? Sure. Why
Coomer.
not?
Coomer. Cooman. I
will grant to you that I am a Coomer. There's degrees to Cooming.
There's degrees to
Cooming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
you're like it's a very low degree of
Have
Cooming.
A little fun.
Yeah, that's true.
But in reality, I'm not really into one-night stands or anything like that.
Unless they were with a different beautiful woman every night, and then you'd be into them.
But the thing is that it's it's
in your defense, though. I feel like that question is loaded, and that 95% of men would be like, "Yeah." To be honest,
man, a lot of men would take it.
Yeah, I think they would. To be honest.
So,
I would take it for a period of time, and then I would go out and find the one, and then we can have 7 sons and children, and also not get married. But 7 sons.
Would you get married in a way where the state wasn't involved?
Sure.
No. Well, then you're not against marriage. You're just against the state.
Yeah, but it's kind of it's tied together.
It is. I agree.
Bit,
I agree.
At least in the U.S. But aren't there even religious laws as it pertains to? I don't know if laws is the right word, but are there not prescriptive religious doctrines as to what happens in the event of a divorce when it comes to supporting your ex-spouse?
Yeah, usually they don't force that. They usually put in their ecclesiastical authority, you need to support your children.
Sure, that's fair.
That is fair.
That's fair.
You do need to support your children. I think that.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get divorced.
No donated
right?
$100.
You can get divorced depending on.
Could I do 52 women, 1 for each week? Does that make me less of a Coomer than Brian?
Does it make Noah less of a Coomer? Like if it's instead of 1 every day, it's 1 each week?
Yes.
Okay. So if I stuck with 1 girl for a month and then it was next, like less of a Coomer.
Less of a Coomer.
Still a Coomer though.
Yeah, still a Coomer. Yeah.
What about one per year? Still Coomer.
You're still a Coomer.
Still a Coomer. Okay. What if it's
you know what makes it the Cooming? What makes it the Cooming is that you think that's okay. That's the Coomer part. Where you're just yeah, man, I'm just gonna all these chicks and don't give a fuck. Right? That's the Coomer issue.
I give fucks.
You wouldn't give a fuck if it was a beautiful woman 365 days in a row, a new one every single night, and it was totally, you wouldn't care.
When you say wouldn't care, what do you mean? Define care.
It wouldn't upset you, or you wouldn't think there was anything morally incorrect about it.
Nah. I would care about the woman.
Yeah.
These are women who are coming to me.
Sure.
I'm just minding my own business.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Brian. Want some pussy?
Maggie donated $100. Hi, my memoirs are coming out next month. PLS hit Mike for more info.
I have no idea. Okay.
The Maddie memoirs.
Memoirs? Okay.
My time being abused on whatever. Brian wouldn't let me have water. He wouldn't let us have food. It was torture.
So, what were we talking about? Oh,
I don't know.
The question was, thoughts on premarital sex. Going around the table, just getting everyone's input.
It happens, so.
That happens. It happens. Going around the table.
Yeah, it's an accident. It's just like, I slipped.
It's almost necessary if you're looking into marriage, because if you hook up with that person and it ain't it, there's no marriage after that.
You talking about the myth of sexual compatibility?
Why is it a myth?
It is a myth.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, here, I'll give you my reasoning. So, if you're a person who's only spent your entire life, let's say, isolated and you've only eaten steak, right? How do you know that steak's not the most delicious thing on planet Earth?
Good question.
Yeah, so if you're a person who spent your entire life with just one woman, right, and she's only spent all of her time with one man, what is the frame of reference here for what is not compatible?
That's true. That's why I am all for the sex before marriage, so you can test the waters.
Gotta test the waters.
Yeah, but that would be the reverse of what I'm saying. That would be like the opposite, right? Now you're like, now you've had lobster and you've had, sushi and now you have a very advanced palate, right? But whereas before, it was like, meat and potatoes are fine. What's your frame of reference?
Well,
So if you always thought for the rest of your life, with the only sexual partner you've ever had, that's the most mind-blowing sex that you could ever have, what the f- is a problem with that?
Well, you might want to experience lobster.
How would you know?
Well, if you know of it, right?
Okay, yeah, you can know of it, but if you have not tasted of it,
then you're going to want to go taste the rainbow, right?
no.
Well,
Taste
why
the
not?
rainbow.
Why wouldn't you want to go taste all
I've
the
never
other
sucked a
ones?
dick. I don't want to go suck any.
How do you know that?
What do you mean? How do I know that?
You've never tried. You only stuck to
I'm
steak.
aware that there are men who suck, but I definitely don't want to go suck any of those. So, what do you mean? This idea that because you're aware that there are women who sleep with many, many, many men, that means you need to be one of those men, just seems absurd to me. The idea here is that if it's one man and one woman, and they're both, let's say, virgins when they get together, those relationships usually last, by the way. They usually last clear up until death. Very low divorce rates, especially if there's religiosity behind it. And the reason when they investigate why is because, well, there's no... What are they going to compare it to? They have no comparison here for, they're not comparing this guy to this guy to this guy. So imagine talking to the man and the man hearing this from you. Well, I'm going to compare you to Chad and Chuck and Fred and right and your performance to this guy, this guy, this guy. Wouldn't that sound super unappealing?
Yeah, it sounds unappealing.
It sounds super unappealing, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why I think the sexual compatibility is just kind of a myth. And by the way, I also think that people's sexual compatibility increases the more they have sex with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, that's true.
And multiple orgasms.
Here, I'm going to try to get through all the notes here. So going back to Rebecca, very single. You have a lot of crazy dating stories. You said one time you dated a drug dealer and you lived in a trap house, and he went to a party and another man pulled a gun on him for mentioning my name because he was in love with me too.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I have a super important question.
Yes.
What kind of gun was it?
Shotgun, that's all I know. Just I know. Nothing crazy.
Shotgun.
No specifics.
Listen.
You can't tell me if it's a Remington or a Winchester.
No, I think it happened pretty fast. I don't think that's what they were looking at. I think
Couldn't
they
be
were
a Browning.
scared.
Smith & Wesson makes shotguns,
It
yes.
could be any of them. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Was it a pump action?
You would have to ask them.
Was it a double barrel
Sawed-off.
side by side?
Maybe. Who's to say?
Semi-automatic, perhaps?
Probably. If I had,
Sawed
It was a
off.
semi-automatic
if I had
shotgun?
to guess, if I had to make an assessment, yeah, I would say it probably was, yeah.
Okay. The important question was
Exactly.
asked. Yeah.
Let's see. Another time you brought a guy that you were with on a first date with out to meet some of your friends at the bar. He decided to take a massive amount of Molly, which he had never taken before, and started expressing all of his internal thoughts externally. I had to calm him down for the rest of the night. Okay.
That was a lot.
He was
one time-
narrating.
Literally his own like thoughts. It was insane. Like he
That's
took the largest Molly rock I've ever
crazy.
witnessed. I was like, you shouldn't do that, and then he did.
Wait.
It was pretty bad.
Well, I saw a clip of you saying that you gave him the Molly.
No, that was just a general statement. It was like this other show that I was on. Also satirical. I don't really give people Molly, but
Okay.
yeah.
You said one time you met a British man on Raya who used to be in a screamo band during the Warped Tour days. We went to dinner, got blackout, got matching cowboy hat tattoos, and still talk to this day.
True.
When's the last time you hooked up with him?
It's been a while, but he lives in San Diego, but we still talk. We're still friends.
Someone that didn't really answer the question.
I mean, I probably like, I don't know, a year, maybe 8 months or something. Yeah.
What screamo band? Can you tell us?
I can't. I feel like he wouldn't want me to. I feel like he wouldn't want me to, or else I would.
Okay,
It's a great
that's fine.
band,
No,
though.
you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to say
Have
it.
to-
Warped Tour days were the best.
Weren't they,
It was the
though?
best of days. It was the
Completely
best.
agree. I was there
fuck are the
07 through like
Warped Tour
2012.
days?
Blink 182. You don't know?
It's like rock little emo era.
I forgot you've listened to that. You listen to Blink 182, don't you?
You don't listen to Blink
No.
182?
No.
Psh.
Yeah.
Is
It's
that how they
terrible.
sound?
It's terrible shit.
Look,
No.
Andrew, you got to understand, right? You got to understand here. There's something appealing about the optimism of this optimistic punk pop music that really captured the essence of the late 90s. This is pre 9/11. There's an optimism in the music. You look at the late 90s music, it captured, there's another way, the optimism of the 90s, of the late 90s.
The 90s is when all of the punk band, or I'm sorry,
Well,
the
look,
unalive
there's
punk
grunge.
bands were.
Yes, there
That
was
What
grunge,
do you mean? Kurt
Pearl
Cobain,
Jam.
all those people? What do you mean?
Yeah, but if you listen to like alternative music in the late 90s, there was an optimism to the music, and now it's so contrived and it's all terrible now.
Amen. True.
Blink 182 was terrible, bro.
Andrew, you need to retract that statement, sir.
Okay, you're right. It was awful.
No, retract. I need a retract, man. Retraction.
Horrible.
Retraction. All right.
Horrible, terrible, awful, sucks.
All right. What you a Pantera guy? What are we talking?
I mean, Pantera's good, yeah.
Yeah.
How about some good old, like Metallica, Scorpions?
Yeah.
You know, how about some good bands?
Metallica's okay.
Yeah. How about some Ozzy Osbourne?
Ozzy Osbourne. They got like one good song.
Black Sabbath has one good song.
No, Ozzy Osbourne.
How about some Jimi Hendrix?
He's got like one good song.
Jimi Hendrix has one good song. You compare
hold on.
Blink 182 to Jimi Hendrix? How about Creedence Clearwater? How about anything which is better than Blink
Look,
182?
Fortunate Son is a good song.
That's the only song.
have
Can
way
you
more.
name one other Creedence Clearwater? Was it movement?
Yes, Proud Mary.
Yeah, Proud Mary, Susie Q. The list goes on and on.
Who is that guy?
Okay, what about are you Pearl Jam?
No, not
That-
Pearl
that's
Jam.
Okay, Stone Temple Pilots.
Jeremy spoken. What a terrible song, dude.
Whoa.
Look, first of all, Even Flow I think is a bit. I think
literally do.
Even Flow is their superior single for starters. Also, Eddie Vedder. Look at his solo ambitions. Hard Sun. Arguably, I don't know if you've seen the movie Into the Wild. Hard Sun, fantastic song, Andrew, and you would love it out
It
there.
was
in
a
the
terrible
woods.
song and a terrible
Hard
movie.
Sun.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, Andrew. Okay, hold on.
Terrible song and a terrible movie to go with a terrible song.
Look, I'll give you that it was some hippie shit. Okay,
It was some hippie shit.
Hard Sun is a fantastic song.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to do a hard disagree here.
You know, I think we're gonna have to do a hard. You have to agree with me on this.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. It's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible.
Soundgarden. Black Hole Song. Oh. No?
Well, I mean, Soundgarden's good.
Soundgarden.
Yeah, Soundgarden's good. Not
What's his
Black
name?
Hole
Chris,
Sun.
what's his name?
Cornell.
Cornell, yeah.
Yeah, you mean one of like the best singers of all time, Chris Cornell?
Yeah, he's a grunge.
Yeah, I said
early
Soundgarden's
90s.
good, not Black Hole Sun. That's not good.
You don't like Black Hole Sun?
It's okay.
Brian Fan Club President donated Weird Al all the way.
I just think, there was a certain optimism in the music in the
In Black Hole Sun?
No,
there was an optimism.
no,
Their
not-
faces were melting,
what
dude.
I'm-
What do you mean?
I'm talking about like the late '90s. There was optimism in the air, son. There was optimism.
Yeah, I don't think.
You don't think? Okay,
don't
forget
think so.
music. You don't think that there was optimism in the late '90s prior to 9/11?
Didn't they all think they were gonna die because the clocks were gonna turn?
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's the optimism.
That's true. What about the 1999? The world's gonna end. Y2K.
You're just arguing to argue, Andrew. Andrew, do you prefer, look straight into that camera. Tell me, you think the world is better now in 2024 than it was in 1999?
This is a false equivalency. So I didn't say that.
Answer the question.
No.
Answer the question.
Okay, so the answer is no. I
Wait,
don't.
You think the world's better now?
No, I think that the
It was
world was
better-
better in the 90s, yes. But that had
Checkmate.
nothing to do with
Checkmate.
Blink 182.
Checkmate. ETFO. It had everything to do with it.
Hey, hang on. Okay, now Brian, my counter, was Metallica selling out stadiums in the 90s?
I think so.
Yeah, and are they doing it right this second?
Yeah.
Then the 90s was only good because of Metallica. See, that's there you go. Not because of Blink 182.
Sorry, let me figure that one out.
Yeah. Yeah, if we're just going to make like random correlations, mine's better. Or better. More better.
Okay.
So is this your guys' Jackrabbit playlist you guys just went over?
Yeah, we never finished asking what everybody's favorite music was, and then the premarital sex thing. We didn't finish that either.
What you groove to?
Yeah.
You're like really eager to answer that question, or?
Okay, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say I like Jeff Buckley. Not that I like have sex to Jeff Buckley. Just that I like.
Who the fuck is that guy?
You said what I get down to, right? No, not that.
Oh.
Just music I like.
Yeah, but the question was, what music do you like to listen
Oh, I
to while
can't
you're?
answer that because I don't partake.
Okay, no, I get it, but that's
I just wanted to say.
that's why
I
we were
him.
like, really,
That's it.
you're really eager to answer that question.
I was eager to answer what kind of music I liked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's sad, Andrew, that you could go to a party and you could go listen to, like you'd hear rock music at the party. Now you go to a party, EDM, rap, hip hop.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's terrible. I'll take Blink 182 over rap. How's that for a compromise? I'll take it over rap.
No, I'll accept it.
No rap
No,
at all?
no,
Not a single artist?
no.
Why?
Because it's just gibberish, and I
Wait,
feel
I'm saying from like
okay.
all
So I'm going to
decades?
tell you exactly why I think this. I think it takes zero talent. Almost anybody can do it. I've heard guys on the street who are better than most of the mainstream artists who just randomly can belt the shit out. I don't think that it takes. I just don't think that it's good music. I think it's complete trash and garbage. And I think that almost anything anybody can do, if they just practiced it for a few weeks, isn't great.
Why do you think it's so popular? Like, why do you think so many people like it? Just in general.
It's a psyop.
Well,
It's a psyop for sure.
I think that that it's a medium which is above criticism. So it's not heavily criticized. So I think that people can still do what I call storytelling. Same reason I think anime is very popular. I still think that you can do great storytelling through the medium of rap, and that's one of the few music mediums left where you can do that. Just like anime is one of the few mediums left where you can tell a story without it having to be laced with social justice fucking bullshit. So that's why I think it's popular. Because I think it has masculine themes like smack her in the mouth, right? And shit like that. I'm not, but I mean, honestly, I'm not kidding. It's one of the few venues where you can still do storytelling, right, without having some theme of social justice. And when I listen to the rap songs that I hear that become very popular in underground rap communities, that's what they're
Scorpio
about.
donated $100.69. Let's be real. Slavic women are probably only interested in rich guys, right? If you don't have money, what's the point of even trying?
Well, back to the rap.
I'm gonna
Well, hang on. I want to finish this. I'm almost done. We're almost done.
Okay, so
back to rap.
I feel like there's all different types of artists that can actually tell stories. So when there is like, rapping is not always about smacking bitches in the face.
I was joking. But what I was saying is that you could actually say that though in rap and be above criticism. Almost no other form of modern music is that possible. And so that's why I think people gravitate towards it. Just like I think that anime should never have been a big thing in America. It's fucking, it's, when you think about it, it's actually fucking weird that anime is such a huge thing in America. But I understand, right? Because I thought, you fucking weebs, I'm not watching that shit. Years ago when I started watching, I was like, wait, these are great stories. These are actually good stories because they're not interlaced with a bunch of social justice bullshit. They're trying to tell an actual story, and I think that that's one of the few mediums, rap, where you can still do that. That's all.
Yeah, you can
Wait.
do it in metal music too.
Anyways,
Not as much anymore. Not as much anymore.
wait, Andrew, I wrote this down. This is going back to the rating thing. Oftentimes we'll hear beauty is subjective.
Yeah.
Beauty is subjective. But
Whatever fan 69 donated $100.
Thank you, man.
Iron Maiden FTW. Question to panel: do you think in general society women default view men as bad or evil until proven otherwise, and men view women as good, virtuous until proven otherwise?
yeah, there's this phenomenon called the women are wonderful effect. And this is for both men and women. There's this bias that women are wonderful and men are bad.
Yeah, so the question to the panel, you can just do this on a quick show of hands. So if you think that men basically are evil until they prove that they're not evil, can you raise your hand? Okay. Got it.
All right.
What about women for you guys?
No, I definitely think that women need to prove that they're not evil until definitely. I've just met so many of them at this point, for sure, 100%.
They're all evil.
Yeah. Well, you know who tells me that? Women.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are like, watch out for these bitches. I'm serious. They're like, watch out for them. They're sneaky. They're backstabbing, conniving. Yeah, I'm not joking, right? So it's like, when people tell you, listen to them, right? And I've never heard anybody run women down more than women.
No, literally.
So going to, they'll say beauty is subjective. But then I was thinking about this as a counter argument. So you can even ask them perhaps a question like, well, do you think in general people will tend to appraise people who are obese as less attractive as people who are fit? And I think even most of the people who say beauty is subjective will have to concede on that one and say, yes, like thin people, by and large, no pun intended, are going to be appraised as more attractive than obese people.
Yeah, but what would be the counter to the argument of, but there's some cultures where the 500-pound women are worshipped as goddesses, Brian.
But so then,
what about those cultures, Brian? And that's how you know it's all socially subjective, and there's no such thing as symmetry in what people find attractive, Brian.
But so then I think the checkmate here on this argument, at least for future usage, would be, is obesity subjective? And it's clearly not. Obesity is an objective measurement.
How is that an objective? It's literally arbitrary.
Well, I mean, if we say that obesity is you weigh over this much.
Yeah, that would be an arbitrary metric, though.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's literally arbitrary. So we come up with the word obese based on an arbitrary metric, which says if you're over this amount of weight, which we also made up, you're then obese. So it's arbitrary, literally.
So then how about just the term fat?
Sure.
Is that more copacetic?
Nah, it's still arbitrary, though.
Still arbitrary?
Yeah. Like whatever system you come up with for fat is going to be a constructed system, right?
Isn't it
Well,
medical?
no, but
though? Like, they have, like, medical
they're
concerns that they get.
actually like you can see it with your eyes. Their body fat percentage.
Yeah, but this is where you get into the subjective thing, though, right? Because fat can mean anything to anybody.
Green Day was good. Then they started chanting "F America" because they are
Pro-abortion.
Pro-abortion.
Yeah.
Motley Crue makes me feel American.
Yep.
Alice Cooper too. Brian, please add Team America song to the soundboard.
See, this guy has great taste
Thank
in
you,
music.
Dylan. Thank you, Dylan.
I think that's the problem, right? Is they would just say, well, to some men, some women who aren't fat, they consider them fat, and so it's subjective. So I think that you run into that. But I think that the first part's a great
donated
argument.
$100. You'll never be drafted. Why hate CCR? As a vet and a man who works on the dark side of IT, you'll never have a clue. Stan/rap God by EM tell an incredible story. Slayer has amazing stories
Yeah,
as
Slayer's
well.
good. I probably shouldn't even say that, right? But I still like Slayer. But I think that the first part of the argument that most people would be attractive towards a thinner woman, I think that they'd have to concede on that. But I'm not sure how that moves it out of subjectivity.
Wait, so you don't think it's objective?
No, I think that there's objective standards. I'm just saying that I think that it could be successfully argued it's subjective from the
Obesity.
other side. Yeah, well, obesity especially can be art. I mean, that's 100% a subjective standard.
I'm going to have to think further about that.
There's no way it could be anything but a subjective standard. We come up with the
So
standard for what
would
is
be
obese.
objective as it pertains to...
Well, none of that's objective. Then an objective standard would be there's like almost universal agreement on the intuition. We could say that that's something akin to objectivity.
So let me ask you a question. The fattest woman in the world, you don't think that she is objectively fat?
No, that would still be a subjective standard, yeah.
But she is the fattest woman in the world.
Yeah.
No woman has ever been fatter than her.
Is there potential that somebody else could be fatter than her?
Sure.
Okay, well then I don't know. It's
But
still subjective.
How about then, well, what if no other woman could be, she's got some sort of medical
Then
condition.
it would be objective that she's the fattest woman who's ever been in the world, but not objective that the standard which we call fat is objective.
No, but is she objectively fat?
Yes. By the standard, the arbitrary standard, she would be objectively fat. So the standard's still arbitrary.
Bro, I got a headache. God damn. I'm trying to parse it. Okay, how about this? Is BMI objective?
Well, no, I'm sorry. The standard's not arbitrary because there is a standard. Sorry. Anyway, what's that? BMI?
Is BMI objective, body mass index? Is that an objective?
Well, no. Listen, all of these systems that you're talking about, that you're basing it on, are subjective systems. Meaning we constructed them out of what? What did we construct the system? Like, what did we construct inches out of? It's a subjective unit of metric that we came up with. We made it up, right?
Okay, I'm trying to parse this. So I have 5 fingers. Is
Yep.
that objective or subjective?
That would be objectively true.
Wait. On this hand.
On that
anyways,
hand,
on
yeah. That would be
not double.
objectively true, yeah.
But so why couldn't this same sort of thing be applied
Because
to...
there's metaphysical truths, and math is a metaphysical truth. So 5 can't ever be anything other than 5.
But okay, Andrew.
But
so,
an inch. Hang on.
Wait.
In
Hold on,
your-
wait.
In her country, they use kilograms, right?
Sure.
Okay, so and here we use pounds, right?
Yeah, but they could... A certain kilogram could equal a certain poundage.
Yeah, right. But hang on. But who comes up with those metrics?
Well, it's descriptive.
Descriptive of a metric that we
But it's
constructed.
physics. So you step on a scale and you will weigh this much.
Well,
or you do weigh that much.
Yeah, in kilograms or in pounds objectively.
You can change the scale.
Right, so it's subjective. To whatever we decide that the weigh note is would be subjective.
Huh?
So, okay. Math is an objective standard.
Wait, okay.
1 + 1 must always equal 2. That's logically always must be true, right? But systems and standards, like the scientific method, for instance, is that objectively true? No, it's objectively not true. It's a subjective metric that we came up with.
Wait, so if somebody is 6 feet tall, is that objective or subjective?
I mean, tall would be subjective. The fact that they're 6 feet, they're mathematically they're mathematically X numbers.
Tall is objective.
Subjective.
Wait, I thought you said tall is objective.
No, tall would be subjective.
And then 6 feet also subjective?
Well, the metric for what is 6 feet would be subjective, but whatever the numerics which came out to 6 feet would be objective.
Okay, so I still don't really get it. If a woman is 500 pounds, is she not objectively fat?
Okay. So what I'm literally playing the devil's advocate here. So I want to say, yeah, of course that bitch is fat. But what I'm saying to you is that the argument from the opposition is always going to be that's a subjective standard. What makes her fat, Brian?
Well, is also her being 500 pounds, is that objective or subjective?
Okay, so we could say that that's objective, that this standard of pounds, she weighs this many. That is true.
And is a woman who's 500 pounds,
but hang on, but what makes it
look
fat? But what makes that fat? Yeah. That's the problem, bro.
No, I'm trying to understand.
We agree. We can agree. Objectively agrees. This amount, she's this amount. That's true. This standard of weight that we came up with, she is this amount. Nobody's going to dispute that. They're going to dispute what makes her fat, though.
I'm going to have to think about this one. I got to think about this one.
That's the problem, bro.
Okay. Good talk.
Yeah.
Good talk. We're going to debate about the whole the bow perfect woman.
We are?
Or not the...
Are we doing
later,
perfect?
if we have time.
All right.
Maybe on Tuesday, actually. Okay, let me get through the notes.
By the way, I just won that debate, Brian. How does that make you feel?
You know what?
How does that make you feel, Brian?
I don't know, Andrew. I think I'm not sure you've convinced me. You know,
I remain unconvinced.
I remain unconvinced. Okay, let's see. Back to the dating talk. Rebecca, you said you one time met an art dealer from Miami on Raya. He flew you out with your golden doodle on a PJ, private jet, for our first date because I couldn't take her on a commercial flight. He told me that he didn't do drugs anymore. Wait, hold on. I got something for that. Wait.
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Okay.
And then, but he snorted Adderall the whole weekend because he said it doesn't count.
Yeah, that was insane. I was like, I don't know about that one, buddy, but yeah.
How long ago was this?
Like 6 months or so, maybe.
How much does it? He flew you out on his private jet or
no,
a
like
plane?
chartered, yeah, which is nuts.
How much does that cost?
I couldn't tell you.
Did you?
I didn't pay for it.
Did you hit?
No, like I actually didn't. He was just on Adderall the whole time, so wasn't really. I don't think his mind was there.
Does Adderall do that much to you?
I mean, when he's snorting that much, like to that capacity, you know, I think his like brain was a little scrambled.
Did
like,
he try to
was a
like
little
give
spastic.
Adderall to the golden doodle?
Not that I know of. I could see him doing that.
Oh,
but,
okay. I was just curious.
I wouldn't put it past him, but not that I saw. Mm-hmm.
How much does it cost to charter a private jet?
No, we could
It's a
probably
few
look it
grand.
up. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, I thought so as well, but I still.
Have you been flown out before?
On a private jet?
No, by just it could have been fucking Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
How many times?
I don't know. Like I would say less than 10 in my life, probably.
Have you ever been flown out by a guy?
Once.
Into
Oh,
the
sorry.
mic?
Once.
No.
Private?
Just any airplane.
Yeah, of course. In private.
No.
yes.
3 times.
A guy's flown you Okay.
I've flown people.
Okay.
Okay, girl.
As you
get
should.
it.
Lisa, any offer? Any flowns out? Have you been offered though?
I guess by my boyfriend.
W. Nisa. Okay. All right. Let's see. You said, what constitutes cheating? Liking a girl's photo or texting a girl flirtatiously is definitely cheating, in your opinion. When should you become monogamous with someone before leaving because it's been too long?
Yeah, like some girls don't want to wait. Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh, if he doesn't want to commit after 3 months, then you should leave. I know that's a thing that I see online a lot, but
okay,
that's what I meant by that.
You also said having a girl best friend if it's a guy. Oh, okay. Is an open relationship actually cheating? That's what you... Probably not if you... I don't think so if you agreed to it. Let's see. Should you ever get back? No. Do all men cheat? That's what you were asking?
Because that is like a stigma. I feel like a lot of people just assume. Like I know girls personally that'll say like every man's gonna cheat, so they just kind of accept that it's gonna happen in a relationship.
I don't think
Which
all
I
men
don't think
cheat.
is right. No, I don't either. But I feel like that is something I hear a lot.
Men saying they'd never date a stripper or OnlyFans girl, but then y'all find out Hannah, who's a receptionist, fucked your dad even though she isn't a sex worker. The generalizations are so out. I don't get it. Wait.
Saying that
they'd never date a stripper or OF girl, but yeah.
Saying that those people are more promiscuous than just a normal everyday person because of their job, basically. Yeah.
Well, so you're saying like men will... You're saying normal women can be more promiscuous than sex workers?
Yeah,
Is that the
I think
argument?
so. Yeah.
Like
I
a
think it's
slut
possible.
versus a whore?
Say it again?
Like a slut versus a whore?
Right,
Is there... Wait, what do you mean? Like... Well, no, I think... So you mean like...
Like you're not getting paid, but you're just as like...
Yeah.
Like you're just sending nudes to guys free.
Right. Which could happen, you know? I think there are people like that out there.
Wait, so... But okay. So, I mean, clearly it's the case that women who are not sex workers can be bigger sluts than sex workers. I don't think that's the only reason men don't want to date sex workers, though, is because of either real or perceived promiscuity. Could just be that there's a stigma attached to the profession. You disagree, or?
No, I mean, I think that like... I'm not talking about men wanting to date them. I'm just saying the assumption that they're more promiscuous because of their job. That's all.
Are they not?
I mean, I don't think so. Like, do y'all think they're more promiscuous because they're sex workers?
I
Or
think
no?
you have to be like a base level of promiscuous to do those things. But I don't think it would necessarily mean that you
Okay, let me
all the
here.
time
Why don't I
on.
ask this? Do you think sex workers are more promiscuous than the general population?
I don't know, because I feel like a lot of them do it out of necessity, or maybe again out of a financial bind. You know,
Do
So
some
maybe,
women?
like-
How come
do-
if they did it out of necessity, that would make them less promiscuous? Wouldn't that make them more promiscuous?
No,
like,
maybe
aren't
they're
some
just broke.
women?
If you were
prostitutes
a
out of-
prostitute out of necessity,
Yeah.
how are you less promiscuous? That makes no sense.
Because you don't... I feel like if you're promiscuous, maybe it means like you enjoy it, you know?
What?
I don't know.
Promiscuous just means you take a lot of D.
I guess. I don't know.
No, what do we? No. There's no guess,
Yeah.
right? What the hell does promiscuous mean if not sex with lots of people? What else could that possibly mean to make
I think
it make
means
sense?
like it's like a mentality. It's like willing sex with a lot of people, and when it's like more out of
Yes,
necessity.
willing sex with a lot of people. I
Yeah.
agree.
But
Yeah.
I think one's just more
So if you're a
necessity-based.
prostitute, you're having willing sex, yes.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
think like again, it's kind of out of necessity too, because you
So?
wouldn't be doing that if you were financially
Well,
stable.
first of all, when you say necessary, right? What the hell does that mean?
To make money
Because
that you
there's
need.
lots of men who necessarily work 3 jobs and don't have the luxury of prostituting themselves.
They could if they wanted.
You know, to who? Other men?
I mean, there's websites probably.
Yeah,
for-
no, they're
there's
not going to
market
make.
for
Do you
everything.
think that male prostitutes, on average, are going to make as much as female prostitutes?
Some do.
It depends on the male, yeah.
Okay,
Honestly.
okay. What did I say? On average?
Yeah, on average, no.
No, of course not. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally ridiculous. So they don't. When you say necessary, how come when poor men are broke, that suddenly they can somehow find jobs to get by, which aren't opening their legs to random
Because they know
strangers.
they wouldn't make as much,
Right,
right? But
so
women
it's not
know that-
necessary then. It's
Yeah.
not necessary.
But I guess they also don't have the ability because they know they wouldn't make as much. But
Yeah,
women
but
know, hey, I can make a lot
then
doing
it's not
this quick.
necessary. Necessary means must, right?
Well, it's necessary for them to make money, and they know they could do it
They
fast
can
by that
know it's
means.
not necessary for them to make money.
Well, to live.
If you have a dead,
No, it's not necessary for them to live. You're saying I make more money. That's want, not necessary.
Well, I'm saying faster as well. Like it is like quick money.
Then
you know?
still not necessary. Necessary, I think, means must. Right?
So it's not necessary to make money ever, or just have.
No, I didn't say it's
source-
not necessary to make money. I just said that there's alternative means of making money other than prostitution that may make you less, but that doesn't mean that it's necessary that you make as much as you make as a prostitute
Yeah,
to live.
I think they just think that it would be faster.
I think that I agree that it would be faster, but how is that not willingly having more sexual partners?
Well, it is willingly having more partners, but it's for a bigger purpose. I guess.
That's promiscuity. Promiscuity is your willingness to have lots of sexual partners.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know how it could. What else could it be?
No, I'm not like disagreeing with you. I hear what you're saying for sure.
I really don't understand though what you're saying. I don't really know how it could be anything other than willingly having lots of sex. That's
I
promiscuity.
think. Well, I think you're just saying OF and strippers, right? You're not talking about prostitution.
Well, in OF, boy-girl content, very common. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
prostitution
also, I would say that, so I would say this as well, that if you were a woman who was talking to multiple people, flirting with them, right, things like this, that men would consider that to also be cheating.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I
So-
think it goes both ways for sure.
So even if we were to take this like very kind of charitable idea of promiscuity, which is, well, it doesn't require sex, it's like, okay, I can even concede that. And I still think they would be more promiscuous, right?
Do you think there's a gender that cheats more generally, like men or women?
I think women cheat more.
Really?
I do.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Because I think that the availability is there far more for them than it is men. I think that men get caught more.
Why is that? Why do men get caught more? Just-
Because I think that they kind of don't understand subtle manipulation as well as women do. For women,
Practicing gentleman donated $100. For the panel, does fisting count as cheating? How many knuckles deep can you go before it's cheating? Also, Pink Floyd, Hootie and the Blowfish, Demon Hunter, Red, Santana, Wax Taylor, and Yes Creed.
all right, hang on. Okay,
Said, and yes,
so very quickly, guys, so we can get back to the conversation. Show of hands does fisting count as cheating?
Yes.
Show of hands.
I'll allow
It doesn't? Wait, what? She was the one dissenter? Okay. Yes, so it does indeed. Okay, and
I would just laugh though. Like,
is there any?
serious.
It doesn't require more than one knuckle.
One knuckle is still
One knuckle.
cheating.
Is one knuckle cheating?
Absolutely.
Show of hands if one knuckle's cheating.
The thoughts will
Okay, all right. So one knuckle's cheating. Fair enough. Anyway, so yeah, back to this. I think on the idea that men get caught. So I think that we're just talking about basic power dynamics. When it comes back to power theory, I think that men are very used to being able to utilize force, and women are not. So men always can kind of rely on going back to force. So because women don't do this, they understand kind of subtle manipulation better, generally, I think, than men do. I'm not
so
saying
it's like adaptive a little bit, just because they can't. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, well, a woman can't at any time they want physically dominate a male. Men can do this for most women, and they can also do this to other men. So because that's true, they always have that to rely on, right? Where it's like, oh, it doesn't have to make sense because I'm going to punch you in the mouth, right? So women don't have that. They can use emotional control, manipulation, things like this. So I think that they're much more clever when it comes to hiding their tracks or carrying on affairs than men generally are.
Interesting.
So now the stats would actually disagree with me. The stats would say that men cheat more. But how do you get the stats? Well, you get the stats by the admittance of people saying that they cheat or don't cheat, and people who are really good at cheating would never admit it. And so I think that women, they don't admit it because they're better at cheating, but that's my take on it. So, yeah.
Most of my clients, males who come into me, I would say probably 8 out of 10. The reason for their divorce is because wife cheated on them. So it is.
Well, think about it like this. Think of it like a superpower that women have, and they have it especially when they're younger and when they're in their 20s, right? So you can imagine from the male perspective, if they kind of analyze this and they're like, you can just get whatever the fuck you want because you're pretty. Yeah, I really can, right? Well, that's an amazing superpower. And that's why you see as that fades when women get older, they become more and more delusional. They're like, wait a second, I must do everything to maintain this superpower. That's where you get the fake boobs, the tummy tucks, the everything to create the appearance of youthfulness and attractiveness, because that keeps this kind of superpower going for longer. Men never have it. They never have the superpower. So if I were to reverse it, and I thought to myself, well, what would happen if when you're in your early 20s, every woman just would be willing to sleep with you, basically, right? Well, I think that would corrupt men really badly. You know what I mean?
I think it kind of has in society, because it kind of has happened.
It hasn't
really
happened.
Easily. Well, in college,
It hasn't happened in college. Most men, so women.
Well, there are a lot of men though, who can get it very easily.
I'll prove it to you, right? The easiest way possible. So let's assume it was young picture Andrew and you, okay? And we both went on the sign of, right on the street of Santa Barbara right now. Both of us held a sign. I held a sign that said, I'm willing to sleep with any woman right now. And you held up a sign saying, I'm willing to sleep with any man right this second. Who's getting picked up first?
Okay, I mean, probably me, but if we both...
Why? Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Really? But why?
Because I feel like women would see you with a sign and be like, ew. But...
Exactly.
But if we both went to a frat party, I bet you would easily go home with a girl that night. And
Easier than you?
Yeah, probably.
Why?
I feel like it would be very easy. I don't know. I mean,
you feel like
if you wanted to, I.
So if you walked into a frat party and you said gangbang upstairs, and I'm the meat between the sandwich,
Okay.
You're not going upstairs or what?
Okay, fine. I guess if we both were trying to.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, though, is that the corruptibility.
But I feel like this is the thing: is like men will go to the frat parties wanting to get laid, and women might, be like, oh, we'll see who I'll meet, but it's not. But they're not necessarily like. Well, some are.
I agree. I'm just talking about the
mean?
potential of could.
Yeah, could.
I'm just talking about the potential of could.
Yeah.
So
then I agree with you.
could every woman here sleep with any given man easier than I can sleep with any given woman?
Yes.
Yes. And since the answer to that is yes, I view this as like a female superpower, because essentially you can get whatever the fuck you want based on this, and the younger and more attractive you are, the more you can employ this superpower, right? Do I think that that's very corruptible? I do, because I think, what if men could do this and women would be willing to do this? I think it would corrupt the shit out of men too. So I just think of it in those terms, right?
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. Yeah.